We are back, and we're being joined by our final guest of the evening. He is UFC Undefeated Heavyweight. It's Justin Ledet. He's coming off a split decision victory in Pittsburgh over promotional newcomer Zu Anyanwu. Justin, how are we feeling this evening, my man?
Doing good.
Excellent. It was an interesting thing for you, man. You had a last minute opponent change for you. Zu was a guy, killing guys on the local scene, last minute fight. When you get a situation like that, is you kind of throw any game plan out of the window, or is it just, you go in there to fight and it doesn't matter, if it's Zu or if it's freaking, a top 10 heavyweight? Does anything change when that happens?
I can't really say on that. I mean, it definitely throws a kink in your plan when, you train for a grappler the whole time and then they throw you the striker and then like Hurricane Harvey hit us bad. So I only sparred one time for the whole training camp and stuff. So it was like one of those things that you just got to work through, and luckily we came out with the win, in this whole situation. So got to be happy with that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're from Texas too. So I mean that was crazy too, because you had the fight, you have to come out to Pittsburgh. You have everything going on in Texas with the hurricane and all that. Have the opponent change. That's a lot of stuff happening going on in your life, and you have to fight somebody too. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, but it is what it is. That's why we're fighters. We fight through the stuff that doesn't go our way. You know what I mean?
And and then when they said split decision, I was worried for a second that Zu was going to get the PA discount there because. I kind of felt that just simple fact. He only threw 3 punches in the first round. You wound up winning that one. Felt you won the second one too. He kind of came on at the end of the second. You can make the argument he probably won the third just with the aggressiveness. But were you kind of concerned when they said split at the time, because you had that look in your face like they better not steal this from me?
Oh, man, dude, that's exactly what I was thinking, man. When that first ref said that his name, I was like, man, they're going to fuck around. I lost this fight, which, I was already pissed off because I had a terrible performance. And then, but I felt like, I still dominated. It was a terrible performance, so I still dominated. So it was one of them weird things, And you could tell by my face, I thought that they were going to steal that fight from me. I was like, man, what the fuck, But luckily, it was crazy too because the one ref that had it for Zu scored the first and the third round for Zu. And I was like, what? How did he win the first round? Yeah, they had the first round for Zu. Exactly. That's why I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, he's local to me, so I'm looking on my timeline like 12 hours after the fight, and I'm seeing people like, Zu got robbed. I'm like, Zu got robbed? He let him win he literally, the first round he gave you the fight. End of story. If you ever have a fight that closely contested, regardless of how your performance was and how his performance was, you throw 3 punches in one round, and it's a fight that's going into decision, you put yourself in a disadvantage.
For sure.
I think, and then coming off the 6-day notice, he's a warrior in that aspect. And I've been saying for a while.
Oh, for sure.
That who definitely should have been there a while ago. I kind of felt like at least a year and a half ago the guy should have been there. He should have been there when they did the looking for a fight. He should have been there when he was on the Dana White Contender Series. But he's there now. I'm glad he has that opportunity. But literally, having a bad night, and I think you kind of just had the luck of this guy was literally looking for one thing.
Yeah, and that was why it was such a boring fight, because I don't think a lot of people really researched Zu. They just kind of looked at his body type and was like, oh, this guy's gonna get knocked out, and it was like, nah, he actually had a really good IQ in there. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't have many attributes, but the attributes he does have, I mean, he knows how to use them, and that's why he's knocked out, his past 5 or 6 opponents, you know. So.
Well, I think the one thing that people don't like, they see the knockouts, but I think the one thing that people didn't see about Zu is that he has a really legit grappling set too. He's got a judo and sambo background. Like, people underestimate his ground game on top of everything else. Yeah.
Oh, for real? Okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's local to me, so I've had him on. Me and him had a falling out a little while ago. He don't like me no more, but regardless of the fact I'm media, I'm not supposed to be your friend at the end of the day. So
yeah.
You got mad at me, whatever. I'm not going to sweat off that. But I don't put this guy. He has legit skills. But, he
does.
In my opinion, when I seen the fact that he only threw 3 punches in that first round, I immediately assumed that he knew, he didn't have a lot of time to work on cardio and stuff like that, and he was trying to make sure that he would have enough energy to be able to go 15 minutes with you. That's exactly what I thought when he did that, and it kind of showed that when he kind of picked everything up in the third round and try to have that last-ditch effort. His thing is, I think he reminds me of Josh Koscheck when he figured out he had a right hand, and he just fell in love with that right hand. You said it right. He has a great fight IQ. He knows what he's doing in there. He's a great counterpuncher, but sometimes when you're in there, sometimes you have to do more than just have that right hand. He has more skills with that right hand. You have that grappling set, scare someone with the threat of that takedown when they go kind of sprawl out. You catch him with that big right hand. That's how Zu knocked a lot of those guys out.
Oh yeah, he hit very hard. Probably one of the hardest hitters I've ever been in the ring with, for sure. I mean, I caught most of the punches he threw, but shit, I got bruises all on my back and my arms from catching the punches on my shoulders and stuff. So very hard hitter. And that's why it kind of what led to a safe fight for me, because it was like, I was coming off a lot. I was coming off a knee injury back in January, my first fight in the year. So it was like, man, I really needed this win under my belt. So he was in there. He was throwing heavy leather. And like you said, he was a great counterpuncher. That's how he's knocked out all of his fighters. They'll get overzealous. They'll throw like 2 or 3 punches, and then bam, he comes back with that overhand right. So I kind of when I was in there, I kind of felt like he was waiting for me to sit down on my punches to throw that big overhand right and hopefully catch me. And that's why I just stuck with the jab. It really wasn't worth the risk. I got to give you credit
on that aspect, because, like you said, you got bruises all over. He caught you clean a couple times, and you didn't. I don't know if he didn't catch you right or whatever. I didn't see you wobble. I didn't see you waver or anything like that. You just continued along with how you were going with the fight, and like you said, he is one of the hardest hitters, and you ate it, dude. Yeah, as much as you want to give him props, you got to give props for yourself, my man. I know, you figure it's a bad performance, but you got to give yourself some credit at the end of the day, knowing what everything you went through, both physically, mentally, what was going on in your life, what was going on in your professional life, everything that happened. You got the win over a guy who was smashing guys, multiple time champion on the regional scene. Nothing to hang your head about at the end of the day. Move on forward. Actually, moving forward, I would love to see Zu go in there with Mark Hunt. That would be an amazing fight.
Ooh, man. Yeah, that would
I'm
be.
Just saying.
That'd be crazy.
Because they had that same.
That ain't making it the decision.
No, it definitely ain't. But that's the point of that fight. They both have similar skill sets, similar strengths, and somebody's going to get hit with a hammer of a right hand, and it's going to be beautiful.
Steven over here playing matchmaker.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, it's a fight that as soon as I knew that he was there, it's a fight that I want to see. Mark Hunt is a legend. He's an absolute G. He's one of the guys that could probably take everything that Zu has to offer. He's a guy that could probably help push Zu to that next level, whatever he needs to push him over the hump to get to that next level. Mark Hunt's the guy that could take him there. I don't want to see matchups where guys are just getting wins for the sake of getting wins. I want to see fights. I want to see guys push each other, because that's the only way you can get better in this sport, if you have a guy test you.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving forward, Justin, your division is kind of, wide open. You're 9-0. you're fairly young guy in the UFC. What are your plans? What are your aspirations? Because that division is starting to get really wide open all of a sudden.
Man, I'm just taking it one fight at a time. After what happened to me early in the year, getting injured, man, I don't even care about plans. I don't make no plans. I'm just gonna take fights when I can and make as much money as I can, and just try to do as much as I can to make as much money while I still have enough brains to tie my shoes.
Ain't that the truth, man? That was one of the things that I was literally just talking to some of these other guys about. With all that's going on in MMA, I think the one thing that kind of isn't really being talked about, is we've seen some of these guys are starting to come back with head injuries, and I kind of have this fear that MMA combat and other parts of combat sports are going to have this problem with CTE moving forward. I mean, is it something that you worry about in the back of your head that one of these days you get in there with one of these guys and they mentally take something from you?
Nah, I don't worry about that. But
Okay.
I think every fight is a learning experience, and this fight was a big learning experience for me. I mean, like you said, man, the fans were booing me after the first round, and that kind of took my head out of it. And I just learned a lot, and moving forward, I plan to, learn more stuff every fight, So you learn about yourself, you learn about the fight game in general. So
as Steven said, the division is wide open. Do you have a set plan as to who's next on your radar, or who would you like to fight next? Who do you think you'll match up next against? I'll put you through the rankings to get you up there.
Not really, but I feel like the UFC is kind of about to match me and Walt Harris up, so I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. And because he fought Chase Sherman earlier this year, and then he fought another person, and now he's fighting Mark Godbeer, which are the two opponents that I previously beat. So, I mean, if he probably beats Mark Godbeer, they're going to probably set him up with me. That's what I'm thinking.
So, are you making your camp based on him, or are you just training for sake of training? And how do you think his skills match up against yours? It's not a shotgun of questions there, but
No, it's good. I mean, I haven't started training for him or anything like that. It was kind of funny because after my first fight in the UFC, the Chase Sherman fight, I thought they offered the Walt Harris fight to me. And so we started training with Walt Harris, and we found out a week later he took some other fight. And so we're like, okay, whenever that road comes, we already know what to do. We had already game plan for him and stuff. So he's a real athletic guy, strong guy, throws, some kicks. His footwork is good. And he got power in both hands. So I feel like I match up good with any heavyweight just because I adapt to people's styles pretty well. I feel like I have a high IQ in there. So I feel like, pretty much anybody's going to be a good matchup for me. You know how sometimes, people are they're hesitant for their groundwork or they're hesitant on their hands or whatever. It doesn't really matter to me, just wherever the fight goes.
So do you pride yourself on being as well?
What do you say?
I was trying to say, ask if you pride yourself on being well-rounded, or you think you have one of your strong suits, your striking, or you just trying to be as well-rounded as possible?
Yeah, I'd have to say my striking is probably my strong point. My footwork, like I said, my IQ, my hand speed, my overall knowledge of striking, I feel like. So those are some key factors for me, some attributes for me that I feel like I take into every fight. So.
Now, kind of getting off the topic here. I was asking all the guys tonight about everything that's kind of going on in this world right now. We got the president beefing with freaking NFL. Players kneeling down. Ace is my co-host for this evening. He's a service member. And all that. Got his opinion. my thing is, like, I think at the end of the day, we our military members all fought for us to have the right to do whatever we wanted to do. The question is, I think the problem what people are having is where they're choosing to do it. We live in a day and age where technology is all over the place. That these professional athletes have multiple platforms outside of when they actually do their job when they're on that field. And I think why people are so upset about it is because more along the lines are when people are tuning into the NFL for 2 hours, for 4 hours, for 6 hours, whatever it is, it's to kind of get away from all the nonsense of the hustle bustle of daily life and politics and all that we just want that kind of separated from our sport. And I think the weirdest thing about it is you look at combat sports, you look at MMA, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever. We're so multicultural, diverse. You don't see no one sitting during the playing of the Brazilian national anthem, or if you're in Canada, you don't see no one sitting during that. We all it's just kind of a thing with MMA. You kind of have that mutual respect. It doesn't matter if the guy's from Canada, if he's black, if he's white, if he's Brazilian, if he's Japanese. We all have respect for one another. I think it's one of the things that I truly enjoy, because I know I can get away from politics when I go and watch a combat sports event. But I just want to kind of get everyone's take on this. How do you feel about this? Do you feel that the players are have the right to do it? Our president's going overboard, or is he right?
I mean, at the end of the day, the NFL is a job. You can't just go on your job and just do shit that the company doesn't like. You're gonna get fired, because I do it all the time. I get fired from a lot of jobs because I don't do what the people say. So,
but that's
at the end of the day,
right?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, Justin, ain't that why you fight? So you can have the freedom to do whatever you want.
Man, that's exactly it. That's why I don't understand John Jones with him trying to be like a goody two shoes, but then like he's a horrible person. Like, just be a horrible person. Like, fighting is the one sport where you can be a horrible person and it don't matter. People are still gonna love you or hate you or whatever. It has nothing to do with what kind of person you are. So I feel like most fighters are shitty anyways.
Look at Paul Daly. He probably did one of the most disgusting things we've ever seen in the octagon. He's still being able to compete at a high level. Has a spotlight. Had a big win last night over Lorenz Larkin. He's still.
I did,
he's
man.
still
That was a nasty left hook he hit him with. I saw that fight.
Man. Freaking rock.
Yeah. But man, I was kind of mad at Daly for that punch on Koscheck. Not because he threw a punch after the bell. It was because he threw a bitch-ass punch after the bell. Like, if you're going to throw a punch after the bell, knock that motherfucker out. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get the same, You're going to get the same punishment. You might as well fucking go for the
Either way,
yeah.
He waited the cost, turned his back to do it. I know what you meant.
Well, he didn't even put no mustard on the punch. You get a clean shot, and you got Simtex. Your nickname Simtex, and you can't even knock him out. Come on. Like, you threw a bitch-ass punch, you should threw a fucking haymaker. Knocked his ass out. At least, you know what I'm saying, you get kicked out the UFC, but at least you see his bitch ass is laid out on the floor, At least that's my thinking on the subject.
Speaking of nicknames, what made you pick yours?
What do you say? I'm sorry?
I said, speaking of nickname, what made you pick yours?
What made me pick mine? Because I don't know what ethnicity I am. I don't know who my dad is, and I just know my mom is white. So like when people ask me what I am, I just say I'm white. But everybody's like, nah, you ain't fucking white, blah blah blah. And then my boxing coach, he came up, he's like, yeah, he is. He's El Blanco, Justin the White Ledet, kind of making a joke, and that's how it kind of stuck. It's kind of stuck.
Ah, yeah, all right, I got you. But see, that goes back to one of the things I always say. Like, I'm a big proponent. I do not like people who kind of self-proclaim themselves nicknames. Like, what we got, Joe Warren complains and proclaims himself the baddest man on the planet. You're a freaking bantamweight, dude. You can't be the baddest man on the planet. Come on.
You could be the.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like, listen.
Hey, don't sleep on a lot of
I'm a big thing. It's either your fans, your family, your coach. They give you nicknames. You can't give yourself a nickname. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's just my take. I mean, I think everyone has their own opinion when it comes to everything. But
no, I mean, I
go ahead.
That was the unwritten rule. I thought, like in basketball and anything, it was always the unwritten rule. You couldn't give yourself a nickname. You got, somebody else got to label you the nickname. I thought that was an unwritten rule.
Yeah, that's kind of how I thought too. Like, it's not cool if you go around calling yourself something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Chael Sonnen got away with it. He proclaimed himself the American Gangster, and he's the only one that has probably done that, gotten away with it, and being able to develop a whole persona around it.
Hey, man, that fool Chael Sonnen. Yeah, man, he had some funny quotes, though, man. That foreman quote that he had, I thought that was hilarious. They used to call me a foreman, not because I was in charge, but because I had the strength of 4 men. I thought that was a beastly-ass quote.
But the reason why he had the strength of 4 men is because he was juiced to the gills. I mean, hell, he was juiced to the gills against John Jones, and he still couldn't beat him.
Man, I was so mad at that because he was talking shit about all the other juicers, running his mouth about how they were just like pretty much pieces of shit to the sport for juicing and cheating and shit. And then literally 3 4 months later.
One.
Yeah, he got caught for several things, which he was trying to say that it was because he was trying to have a baby or whatever, but I don't know too much about that. But that's what I know he was trying to say.
Never heard of steroids making you have kids better, but I mean, if you want to have a superhuman child,
well, no, because he was. Chael was one of the early TRT guys. I actually think he was probably one of the first ones outside of the only guy I feel in MMA that has ever needed TRT is probably Antonio Bigfoot Silva because he had the pituitary gland removed because of his condition. He's the only one I felt that should have been given an exemption. But that's what Chael was doing. He was doing the TRT. He was like freaking 14-1 in the Anderson Silva fight. 14-1. That's insane.
Yeah.
Man, see, I never understood that TRT, man. Like, they try to say you got low testosterone, but of course you got low testosterone. You old motherfucker. You're not supposed to have the testosterone as a 24-year-old, Like, I don't understand that. Like,
hey, you didn't hear about TRT Tour, man? That dude's a fucking savage.
Oh, my God. Everyone knows who TRT Tour is. It's T-Tour. But let's leave poking fun of the Warriors alone. We all have our guilty pleasures in life. Some of us it becomes public. Some of us we can keep it hidden behind closed doors. So whatever. Now, as we get ready to wrap things up here, Justin, it was definitely a pleasure talking to you. Definitely going to be looking forward to having you on here again in the future. And, as soon as you get something lined up in the next fight, let us know, man. We'll definitely bring you back on, have a few laughs, talk some MMA.
All right, man. Hell yeah, sounds good, man. Thank you for having me on and everything.
Dude, definitely our pleasure. Before we let you go, what we typically do is kind of throw like the proverbial microphone over to you. Anyone you would like to thank, training partners, teammates, shoot out your social media sites, let everyone know where to follow the comings and goings. Any sponsors that you might have, charities you work with, anything you want to say at all. Justin, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, I want to thank my PR lady, Alina Pike. I want to thank a couple of my sponsors, the Caboose, Snow Country, Snow Cones. Man, just went brain dead. Well, hey, I got those 2 sponsors out the way. Huh? Yeah, I got those 2 sponsors out the way, so anybody else, I mean, they're just going to be mad at me. It's whatever.
You didn't want to take Reebok.
Oh, dude, man, don't even get me started, dude, man. Man, I could go on and on about Reebok.
Why are you going to say the potty?
Man, the worst thing about Reebok...
Listen, you got to give them credit. They're trying to re-image the stuff that they're putting on you. But at the end of the day,
they're trying to re-image? Man, half the shit they give to us is, gay. It's, metrosexual. Dude, I'm a man. I fight for a living. I ain't trying to wear fucking tights and shit. Man, all the stuff is, super tight and stuff. It don't even fit heavyweights and stuff. It's man, I got who's y'all's mannequin for this shit? Justin Bieber? Like, is he like? Man, I don't get it. But I don't know. I guess some of the fighters like that shit, like, because they like the spandex and shit. But man, I get that shit. I throw it away, man.
I don't like
throw half that Reebok gear away.
Dude, what you should do is you should sign that stuff and like do it for giveaways or charity or something. Do something with it.
Nah, man. Man, I'm not gonna give that away to charity. He's talking about let some little kid look gay as fuck walking down the street with goddamn spandex pants.
Yo, Justin, you killed me, bro. Look, well, if you don't do it for like that, do give away for your fans. Like I said, sign it. Do something for social media.
Man, my fans don't wear that gay ass shit neither, and they do. They ain't the fans.
You have to wear it. Hang it up on the wall.
Man, I'm telling you, man, that gear, you ain't seen the gear they give us, man. I'm telling you, it's super gay. Like, even the underwear are gay. Like, dude, I don't want my fucking balls and dick, like, up by my fucking stomach, just plastic. They got these tight, like, fucking underwear. It's like, dude, who really wears this shit? Like,
you got
I wear cotton boxers,
flip up so
dude.
It fits, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, come on, guys.
Oh, man, Justin, you're awesome, bro. I love you.
That was the best comments I've ever heard.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some editing after tonight. You're going to have to change the parental advisory for tonight's episode, but that's okay.
Oh, my bad.
It was definitely worth it hearing that soundbite out of Justin, man. Oh, my gosh.
That's the most promo that Reebok's ever going to get.
Man, I can go on and on about that Reebok
stuff. They've had
stuff.
fighters literally legit burn their stuff on social media and put it out there because this is garbage. I don't want none of that crap. And legit burn it on social media. I'm like, holy crap. So,
but what I hated about that whole Reebok situation is how Dana White, when he came on and shit, he was like, oh man, we're gonna get a uniform so we can be like the NFL. Like, no, motherfucker, that wasn't what you wanted. You wanted to make NFL owner money, and you want to take all that sponsorship from the fighters and give it to yourself. That's what you wanted to do. Like, stop spitting that fake news, dude.
Spitting that fake news.
Well, I'll say one thing.
Real.
We know one thing about it. Justin pulls no punches and tells you exactly how he feels. And it's a rare thing to see, brother. You're a rare breed, man.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it, man. I wish I could be different, but I can't. I've tried to change.
Listen, you are different. You'll find your niche and kind of blow up like some of these other guys do, man. Just be you at the end of the day. There's so many people like when I heard that comment from the when you guys had that little getaway, and they're sitting there, be like Conor McGregor. Why the frick would anyone want to be like that? Like, listen, he has his own thing. He's got an entire country behind him, all that good stuff. That's all fine. That works for him. That's not going to work for everyone else. That's not going to work for you. That's not going to work for some of these other guys. Go ahead, brother.
Man, I was thinking though the whole time, like, why are y'all wasting y'all's time going to these meetings? Like, what? Like, I didn't go to not one of those meetings. Like, that's a waste of my time. They ain't gonna change what they're doing. They're making money. They ain't gonna change it for what y'all think. Like, fucking, I went to the dispensaries and to the strip club, man. That's what I went for a vacation, man. Like, I ain't got time. I ain't got time for that, dude. And then, like, some dude tried to give me lip. He tried to give me lip because I came back because I saw a bunch of the fighters when I got back from the strip club, and they was, like, holding these, like, Reebok boxes, like they got some gear and shit. So I asked one of the fighters, I was like, what's up, bro? I was like, man, where'd y'all get that? He's like, oh, you weren't in the meeting? Like, no, bitch, you gay for being going to that meeting, man. Like, I got other stuff to do, man. I'm in Vegas, man. Like, dude, I'm not going to no meeting.
Oh, man. Justin, you're my new favorite heavyweight now, bro.
Thank you.
I'm going to wait a couple weeks to reach out to you for you have on our show.
It was crazy because I missed all the excitement on that UFC retreat. Like, it was crazy. I was at the UFC retreat, but I was doing my own thing, and I found out everything that happened at the UFC retreat on social media. It was crazy. And I was at the event.
So you missed the Cyborg incident.
I missed the Cyborg. I missed the Snoop Dogg concert. I heard like Jeremy Stevens got in it with somebody. I missed everything.
Yeah, it was Mike Perry. Yeah, I think him and Mike Perry almost got into it, I want to say.
Oh my God.
Oh, Mike Perry. That fool Mike Perry is a character, dude. He is funny.
Yeah, he
is.
is.
A character. Dude, I was just like, I like to people watch, and I was people watching him from afar, dude. It was hilarious. This guy was talking about getting a mink coat from Michael Kors. Like, dude, you live in fucking Florida. Why are you fucking trying to get a mink coat? Shoot, you're not going to even be able to wear it. Like, you're going to spend all that money on that? Like, but it's like, whatever, dude, you know.
My goal before the end of the
that
year is to have you guys on the show together. You and Mike Perry
Oh
on the same show.
my God. That would be
man,
insane.
Mike Perry, he's one of them wild guys. We probably get along. He seems like a
yeah,
cool
that's
dude.
what I mean. That would be insane, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would
my
be an
God.
awesome show. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. But Justin, dude, again, really appreciate the time. Let us know when you got something lined up. I'm sure Ace will be reaching out to you for his podcast,
Definitely.
The Fight of the Right of the Fame. Definitely, definitely probably one of my favorite interviews tonight, Justin. It was, I've interviewed so many fighters over the last, 4 years or so. Everyone kind of has their own thing. Some guys are really plain. They don't really come out of their shell. But then there's guys like you, man, where you just can't get enough things out of you. I'm sure I bring up another topic, you'll have me dying for another 15 minutes. It was truly a pleasure, truly fun talking to you tonight, man.
Oh, same here, man. Had a blast, dude.
All right, man. You have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll be in touch, man.
All right, thanks, man. Y'all too. Take care.